On today's episode, I am going to be doing a full portfolio review. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my account growth, how it has been growing over time. I'm also going to share some of my strategies, and I'm also going to share my overall portfolio positions. So the main reason I'm trying to do this video is I like to keep track of where my portfolio is at and where it's been. I've done episodes like this numerous times. I do believe my first time doing one of these portfolio positions was in July or June of last year. So it's been almost a year since I first started doing this video. So it's great for me to just see that growth, and also I believe great for me to share this type of growth and share what I've learned throughout the times. So let's jump into it, right? But before we get started, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I drop videos almost on a daily basis, sometimes more than one video a day. So make sure to stay tuned. So like I mentioned, portfolio update. Right now, my stock account is sitting at about $125,000, and it's all about perspective, right? And I think that's something important to have when investing. 125 might seem a lot to some people. It might seem like a small account to others, right? But for me, this is where I'm at right now in life, and I continue to grow. So this portfolio, it did start in late of 2019, so about a year and a half right now. And from right now, the stock account has grown over $41,000 where it's at right now. So I'm happy with my returns, right? Obviously, it's all about perspective. I'm pretty sure there might be other investors getting stronger returns. There might be other investors not getting as strong. But for me, building $40,000 through investing in about a year and a half, I think is something amazing and something that I know I couldn't have done if it wasn't for the stock market. All right, so first let's start off with the overall account growth, right? The first time I did this video, it seems to be on June 20th of 2020, so about a year ago. And when I first did it, my overall gains were only $5,000. It's crazy how much has changed in about a year and some change. And again, these returns are just pure investment returns. Obviously, I put money into the account every so often, but that doesn't count to these gains. We can see in September of 2020, my portfolio was about, I want to say, somewhere around low 50, high 40s, maybe even a little bit in the low 50s right now. And that was up in September about 14K. I mean, things started to really heat up in January of 2021. My portfolio was up 30K, right? So, I mean, it was up about 30K in January of 2021. Then we all know September, right? The huge crash, especially in growth stocks, was happening in September. My portfolio was still up, but not as up as it was in January. Now we're sitting here today in August 8th of 2021. My account is up about 40.6. But if actually we take account, I did sell out of some small positions, and that's about 1.6. So roughly my portfolio right now is up about 42,000 since inception. And I'm super happy with those returns. And again, I'm going to talk a little bit about my strategy. So first, right off the bat, I am a long-term investor. I invest for the long terms. And here I'm talking about multiple years in the future. The money I put to work into this account is money that I don't expect to see anytime soon. So I invest in a lot of markets that I understand. Esports, gaming is probably one of my favorites. Cloud servers, tech components. I want to say mainly in the semiconductor. For those not familiar, I am an electrical engineer, master's degree in electrical engineer. So the semiconductor industry, and when we look at my portfolio, those are my number 2 position sizers, right? My semiconductors are my biggest positions. So I invest in what I understand. At the same time, I put money to work on a weekly basis or every other week, right? It's very reoccurring. I put money to work in my portfolio. And I do believe this is one of the major reasons my stock market has grown so much, is because I understand that putting money to work is where things grow, right? And like I said, right, it's all about perspective. I only put a few $100s a week. Again, some people might put more than thousands and thousands of dollars a week. Other people might just put less than 100. It's all about perspective, but as long as you keep doing it, eventually it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. So investing doesn't have to be hard. Next, I do invest. I do believe that that you have to have some form of conviction and some form of concentration. And I'm going to talk about this in a bit, but right now I invest heavy in my top picks. For example, my top 3 positions equal about 26% of my portfolio. So about 1/4 of my portfolio moves on just my top 3 positions right now. My top 5 positions make up 40%. My top 10 make up 60%, and my top 25 make up 83%. So you can see my biggest picks, the ones that I have the most conviction on, also have my highest percentage wise. So here's my overall portfolio, right? You can see Nvidia is almost 10% of my portfolio. AMD is almost there as well. So you can see, right, my top 3 positions, which is Nvidia, AMD, and C Limited, make up more than a quarter of my portfolio. Then my top 10 positions, which would be Nvidia, AMD, C Limited, Unity, Cerence, Microsoft, Celsius, Disney, Square, and Google, make up more than half of my portfolio. So again, I do believe conviction and investing in what I believe are the ones I understand the most, the ones I believe will give me the better returns, are gonna be my biggest plays. At the same time, though, I do believe, and this is weird, right? A lot of people always say, Jose, either you have to be concentrated in your portfolio or you have to be diverse in your portfolio. You can't be either or. I think you could, right? I believe even a small position can make me returns can make amazing returns in a portfolio. So I also like diversification. I have over 50 position size. Remember, it's important about position sizing. My biggest conviction ones have a big portion of my portfolio, but you can see from here, a lot of my small positions are barely equate to one of my Nvidia positions, right? You can see, I think there's about 15 positions here that nowhere near equal Nvidia's position size. But I do believe that even a small position can provide me with amazing returns. And this is important to remember, right? Position sizing is all about how you feel about a stock, how much conviction you have it, how much you research. And we're going to take a closer look at my portfolio in a bit again, so you guys can see it. But perfect example are AMD and Celsius, right? We can see AMD right now is my number 2 position size. Celsius is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's my number 7, right? But when AMD first started in my portfolio, it was less than 4% of my portfolio. Now it's about 8.49. This is through pure gains. Celsius was less than 1.5%. Celsius would have been somewhere around here. Now it's one of my top 10 position sizings just from pure gains. So that's why sometimes I believe diversification, even a small position, can provide some strong returns over time. So now, again, my overall next, some more about my strategy. First, take out emotions from investing. I do believe emotions are one of, and by emotions, taking out emotions, I don't mean don't be happy when your portfolio is up, right? I mean, I think some people take it a little too lyrical. Obviously, if my position portfolio is up, I'm happy. If my portfolio goes down, I am sad. So I'm still have emotions. I'm no robot, but I don't act amongst those emotions. Like I'm not gonna act when I'm sad. I'm not gonna act when I'm happy or do anything like that. So having multiple positions helps me out a lot with taking out emotions. Next is due diligence. I do my research on my companies. I watch either different articles, different news segments with CEOs. I take a look at other investors and just hear overall thoughts. This helps me out. Again, due diligence, I believe, is one of the major reasons that helps me out with position sizing. We can see, right, I have done high due diligence on Nvidia, on AMD, on C Limited, on Unity. For those reasons, those make up the biggest positions. So due diligence helps out with position sizings. Ones with more conviction get bigger positions. And usually that conviction is driven by more research. Again, I buy companies in the following. Usually I'm more of a strong market type of guy in high revenue. I'm more of a high growth stock. Even though I might have some positions that are not in a high growth style, I do believe in the future they might grow at stronger levels. Strong balance sheet. I tend to buy winners. And again, this overall helps me with my position size and risk management. And I do believe this is one of the major things for investment. So now let's take a look at my actual portfolio. So like I mentioned, I think I have over 50 positions right now. I think it's maybe 52 if I remember correctly. Again, my biggest winners are up here. They make up a good portion. I have a lot of positions that are less than 1% of my portfolio. And I told you guys why, right? Even a small position, I believe, can make great returns if I let them run and they keep if they keep doing their business as they're supposed to. And right now, you guys might see green and red. So I have 12 positions right now that are in red. And that's a lot, right? That's a huge amount. I might have a very low accuracy rate, it seems, right? 12 positions that are red. But out of these reds, they are only down about $3.3 thousand. So about $3,000 are at an unrealized loss right now from these 12 positions that are in red. But look at this. My top 5 winners, which are green right now, my top 5 winners are up $24,000. And this is why I enjoy having multiple positions, because it really allows me to let my winners continue to run. I feel personally, myself, I don't know about you, but personally, if I had small positions and I would see, maybe if I had 10 positions and I would see them, one of them run a lot, I might have the overall urgency or the feeling to just sell that position. But by having multiple positions, it tells me, hey, Jose, I don't need to sell it off. Let that winner just continue to run. And like I mentioned, my top 5 winners are up 24,000, where my 12 losers are only down $3,000. Let me just say this, my number 5 winner, not even my number 1, my number 5 biggest winner right now alone is up $3,000. So that one position alone covers all my losses. So again, this is, but again, you guys can see, I'm kind of concentrated in positions. At the same time, I like to be diversified. So what's next, right? What's next with my position, right? Right now we are in earnings, very, very volatile. To me, I have no plans on selling any big positions. Obviously, if something dramatic changes, maybe I have to sell out a position. Like I said, I'm a long-term investor. The long-term investor doesn't mean I stay in a position forever. If obviously the business changes, if something changes and I don't like that company anymore in forms of where it's at fundamentals, I might leave. It doesn't mean because I'm a long-term investor, I'm gonna stay in that position forever. The main markets that I am buying right now, I do believe this quarter, right now, the main markets I'm looking for are gaming. I do believe the gaming market is completely undervalued right now, mainly in mobile apps as well. So mobile apps growth in Latin America and Southeast Asia, I think are ridiculous. So that deals with like gaming, e-commerce, fintech, for example. So all that growth still happening in some of these countries. I think it's amazing. So those are the 2 major players that I'm investing right now. I do want to say that there are 2 markets that I believe, even though I'm bullish in long term, I believe right now they have high volatility and there's a correction possible. All right. A correction possible doesn't mean it's a guaranteed, but I believe the probability is there in the short term, a higher probability. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. It might never have a pullback. So these 2 markets, let me just get them out for you guys, are the software market and the semiconductor market. Like you guys saw, my 2 biggest positions are actually in the semiconductor company. So why would I be even saying this, right? Why would I kind of have some negative impact to my own stocks? And I do believe that helps me overall understand where the market is going and kind of put my emotions in check. So even though I believe this markets have a chance of higher volatility or correction, I have no plans of selling. I am not going to sell AMD or Nvidia anytime soon. Long term of things, I have experienced both bad times, and as long as I wait them out and as long as I invest in strong companies, I do believe my returns will be stronger. But for the upcoming quarter, the semiconductor and clouding and software market are ones if I do buy, it's going to be very, very limited, or due to either some heavy corrections, or it's going to be very limited in funds. It doesn't mean I'm not going to buy them. It just tells me, Jose, if you are going to buy them, just remember, maybe don't continue at a big position right now. Maybe only add smaller positions over time, and during a longer time frame, there might be better buying opportunities in the future. At the same time, it's because I'm already happy with my exposure size, right? I mentioned the semiconductor, but the semiconductor roughly is close to 20% of my portfolio with just those top 2 position sizing. So those are my overall thoughts, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys want to see my overall portfolio like this, I am going to share a Word document on my Substack. On my Substack is my free blog that I write from time to time. So just make sure to subscribe there. So guys, take care, have a good night, and see you next time.